I might die tonight, but if I do, I'm a...
Nope. Love thyself. Knowing there's a problem at hand to begin with.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the podcast. This is number 23, and it's a bit of a different one. We're out in Fraser Island, and I'm with my lovely family, my sister Bonnie and her husband Spencer. Welcome.
Thank you. On?
Okay, this is obviously a little bit of an awkward hardcore. We're out in the middle of we're on an island in Fraser Island. What's the time?
Almost 7 now.
Almost 7 o'clock in the morning because we had to make this happen because there's kids asleep in the caravan. Anyway, long story short, I'm going to break it all down. You guys owned a cafe.
Yep.
For how many years?
5.5.
Yeah.
And you sold it about a year ago?
Yeah, pretty much a year ago, actually.
Very shortly.
No, it's already been.
Or has it been?
Yeah, it's been. We've almost been in the van for a year.
Oh, there you
really?
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, well...
We moved into the van on like the 1st of August or something into your joint.
There you go. So,
yeah.
And now they've currently been travelling in a van. I feel like we'll get to the van life towards the end.
Yep.
Business talking and all that sort of stuff. Running a cafe, I guess, yeah, you're running a cafe, but also as parents, that was probably a big challenge.
Yeah, because we weren't parents when we bought it.
Yeah, so you started off...
We were just us.
Yeah. How deep into the business were you before you became parents?
2 years.
Did that change anything?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously making it a lot harder.
Yeah, well, when it was just us, we were both there 6 days a week.
Yep.
So obviously, like, from a financial point of view, that's great.
Yep.
And then obviously, yeah, when you have a kid, I was sort of like I don't know, that I was the chef, basically. But I was the chef. Like, for the first 18 months, I was the only person who sent a meal out.
You were running the show.
Every piece of bacon that was cooked by me.
Yeah, which was the best bacon you've ever had by just quietly.
Roll.
Yeah, if you know, you know. The tin plate, if you know, you know. You know.
Yeah, so obviously, like, once it starts when you get pregnant, really, like, shit goes downhill.
Yep.
But we didn't really we just had to do it, like, we just got through it. But yeah, of course it changes it, because you need more staff, you need to rely on those staff, because you're not there as much.
Yep.
Yeah, and then obviously it changes from, like, a personal dynamic too, because you've just had a baby. So
everything changes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Everything's a bit hair going.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think, because I do feel like that was one of those things that sort of probably did, like, you were back at work pretty soon, yeah?
Yeah.
Compared to most mothers.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have 12 months off.
Yeah.
I had, like, I don't know, probably with Ella I had...
You were still working pregnant most of the time,
I worked till I was 38 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, I went back probably, I think with Ella I probably had maybe 3 months off. Like, properly. And then I kind of started just, like, slowing into it and stuff. With Billy, whole different story. That was much worse. I thought it was going to be better, but it was so much worse.
Yeah, right, fair, okay.
But then, obviously, Ella was only October. She was maybe, like, not even 6 months old when COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't...
No, she was super young.
2020. Yeah, so she was, like, super young. So when that came in, like, the part, like, you know, like, the cafe was obviously, like, my baby, not Spencer's.
Yep. I was going to actually get into that, but keep following.
Yeah, so, like, when COVID hit and we had to, like, fully pivot our business, it was like, well, I had to get in there.
Yep.
Like, I felt like I had to, because I could do everything, so I could just kind of get in there and be like, all right, what are we going to do today? Like, we were doing different specials every day.
Yep.
Like, so I was cooking them, like, it wasn't just, obviously, and our staff, but, like, we were coming up with the ideas because I was a chef, like, and we had to just, like, like, almost redo the way we did business, like, and that was kind of, because it was my thing, it was like, oh, well, that's...
You had to step up.
I have to do that.
Which, in saying that, I believe, from what I've seen too, like, that You've killed it during COVID.
Oh, we fucking killed
but
it.
because you stepped up, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. It was obviously for everyone, like, whatever our beliefs are now, at that time, like, it was weird and it was scary. We had a little baby at home. We were like, what the fuck's going on? Like, how do we kind of, like, get through this? Like, is it as scary as everyone's saying? Or do we just, like, we can be here, so let's be here. Yeah. Like, we had
just
bills
get
to
up
pay.
And go do it.
We didn't have really a choice. We had girls on that we knew that they needed their jobs. Yeah. Like, we didn't want to have to be like, oh, you can go to Centrelink and, you know, get your payment. Like, we were like, no, we're going to open and we're going to give you shifts.
Yeah, and
like,
you adapted
and we did.
very
like, in
well.
the end, we ended up, like, we hired plenty of staff during COVID.
And,
like, we just kind of went with it. People couldn't do anything. They were eating.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it was just...
And people were still going to work. And they got, like, you may as well be there for those... Even if at the start it was just like essential, whatever they called essential. Yeah. It was like, why can't they go to the coffee shop and grab a coffee out the window and enjoy their 5 minutes of this, whatever the hell's going on right now?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's
if
what
I
people
can be
were
there
doing,
and serve it
like,
to them, we're going to be there and serve it to them.
Yeah.
Because that's what you need to do.
Yep.
And like during that time, like so many people would say to us, like, you're the only people that like I see. You know, people living on their own or whatever. They literally were walking to the cafe and you
were like their only point of contact because like, you weren't allowed to go and see anyone else. So it was like, oh, well, I'm going to go see the girls
at the cafe because they're going to brighten my day.
Yeah.
And like we made a real point of like everyone was kinder in that time, but like we tried really hard to just be like pumped, I guess.
Yeah.
And just like make people feel like they had somewhere to come
Yeah. And I think, like, I've seen that, and I feel like a lot of other people sort of really caught on to, like, you stood tall in those times hard and just did what had to be done and still, like, served your people in a sense, which was pretty...
Because, like, what else were we going to do? Sit around, like, do you know what I mean? It was just weird. We needed that income, and we saw that it was there. We were like, it's still there. We're not opening and not making any money. We're opening the doors and people are coming.
Yeah, people will always be hungry.
Yeah.
And busy.
And when it's the only
back end of the cafe was not as hectic because no one could sit inside.
Yeah.
People come and get takeaway, so you don't have that whole back end of like, we've got to have someone always constantly doing dishes and stuff.
Yeah. Setting tables and all that sort of shit.
And just reset, and it was like, all right, we've got the whole back of the cafe right now. What are we going to set up today
how are we going to use that space?
What special are we doing and how are we going to use this space and what are we going to pump out for everyone?
Yeah.
We did slice deliveries to like Melton, Gisborne, Riddle, like
True.
We just took what people were asking for and just did it. Like, they were like, we want deliveries, and we were like, all right, let's do boxes of slices and deliver them. Like, we didn't know what it was at the time. We just kind of went with it and did our best really in the situation, and now we can look back and be like, oh, we actually like.
Oh, you smashed it in that time. Like, it was definitely...
That was literally, like, peak for us, like, sales-wise. That was peak. Like, we were doing, like, really good numbers in that time.
Yeah. I still go back to being, like, MDP was that was one of its highest... Like, obviously, me and Schmeek were hard into it at that time, too, so there was a lot going on content-wise.
Yeah.
We were moving forward a lot. But yeah, like that, and obviously too, there was a lot of like stay-at-home stuff, and then everyone got that little grant, and like right when that grant come in, everyone just went straight to the website. Yeah, it was like, bang, give me an MDP hoodie and a t-shirt.
So and they weren't spending their money on other things, like they weren't, going
experiences and stuff.
For dinner or on a weekend or going here or going
which
there.
Which a lot of people blow a lot of money on.
Yeah.
On the weekend experiences every week. So like, well, that's just going to bacon and egg rolls and jumpers, you know, and like a lot of people did. It was interesting that. I was going to say earlier too, that whole was your baby.
Yeah, definitely.
You sort of took a bit of a not a back seat because you sort of took.
No, you stepped up.
Yeah. Well, that was probably actually you had to step up in a game that wasn't really yours.
Yeah.
Like you were qualified carpenter.
Yeah.
And now you're in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah. Which was, the funny part about that is though, before we did the cafe, when we lived up at Falls Creek.
Yep.
I worked my carpentry job through summer.
Yep.
And then I worked at the place that we were building in winter. And my job in winter was just to do maintenance and like go around, do the maintenance stuff.
Yep.
That needs to be done when it needs to be done, and pick people up in
that little boat.
the Polaris,
Yep.
And then in the meantime, because there was not much, like if it was, you know, early season and there was not much going on, I was sort of walking around twiddling my thumbs a bit, like, all right, what am I going to do? And Bon's in the kitchen there doing brekkies in the morning. So funnily enough, like I'd just go in and annoy her in the morning.
And do my dishes.
Just because I had nothing else to do until someone gave me something to do.
I didn't know that.
I was just walking around like...
That's where it all started.
I'm like, well, I'm not doing it. And then, can you do my dishes? And then it kind of became a thing,
it wasn't
didn't it?
like the dude manager telling me to do that. Bonnie's like, do you just come and do me dishes? And I don't want to do them and I want to get out of here.
I want to go snowboarding. Like, can you do my dishes so we can both get out of here? Yeah, like,
So that's where
So you had a little bit of like...
I had a little tiny taste of it. Yeah. And I thought, dishes are fine. Like, did I not know what I was getting myself into?
I'll just wash some dishes.
And it was kind of just like a see what happens, wasn't it? It was like, can you just like be there for the first bit? Like, even if you're literally not doing anything, just like be there, because this is massive, like this is a big deal. And I just wanted that like support.
So in a nutshell, the plan was for you to, in the start, you were probably not going to stay. You were going to help for a bit and then do your thing, maybe.
Well,
we weren't really sure, were we?
You just winging it. It was an opportunity that you went for.
Yeah.
There would obviously been like conversations of like if it went this way or if it went that way or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just kind of fell into place, didn't it?
You
And you just never left.
Brought the cafe up in the sense of like, well, maybe we should. It was more so we want to be home close to family.
Yeah.
Because you were living away. You were doing snow season slash mountain bike season on Falls.
Yeah, in Falls Creek, yeah.
How many years did you do that for?
3. You did 3 winters, 2 summers.
Yeah.
And I did 4 winters. And because I did an extra winter before. Just as we got together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a little second home anyway.
Yeah,
especially somewhere that's seasonal, hey? That like people come in and out of so quickly. If you stay there for, a year or 2, at least, minimum, it's like, you're sort of part of the town.
You sort of end up,
because there's certain people who don't leave.
Yeah.
And they, we got a really good crew up there too.
Yeah.
That are really, who knows where we're
But you run into that with, all right, we need to go see family. Like, go be closer to family.
Yeah, we're just kind of done a little bit with it.
I'm pretty sure my brother, like, we
just had a niece,
So we wanted to be close to them, and it was that time that we were like, well, maybe we'll move back. What can we do?
Yep.
What can we do and move back? And you were like, there's a cafe for sale.
I want to run a cafe.
Me and Mum have been there. It's kind of a cute little cafe. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Like, go on, I got you. You've got this.
Yep.
I'll back you. Let's do this. And Bon was like, are you sure?
It was huge.
You're like,
the self-doubt was huge,
Of course. I even remember it. Like, it was a massive... I remember sort of being like, Bonnie's thinking about buying a business and do you do this, do you do that? Is it, it's in Balan.
Yeah,
Who's
everyone was
Balan?
like, Balan. No one lives in Balan. That's a silly choice. And we were like, nah, but we don't. There was never like a thing from me to be like, I want to have a cafe or whatever in like Melbourne or even Melton. Like, no, that wasn't what I had that idea in my head that it was going to be like small town.
Yeah.
I never wanted like the big, busy, like, I don't know.
Hustle and bustle of a cafe.
No, I wanted. Well, that's what I got.
You got the small busy, small super packed out busy.
Yeah, look, we
could have done with a tiny little bit more space every now and then. Nah,
it was a tight little nook.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
But yeah, that's how that rolled into.
Yeah, and we just kind of did it, didn't we? We kind of. I don't know. It was crazy.
Another 5 years gone, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was rad.
Yeah, and I guess sort of now you're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sold that business
and now we
a year and a bit ago
on Fraser Island at this beach.
We're sitting on Fraser Island. And now you live here. We can't move because fuel's too expensive and we're just stuck here.
We actually just got bogged.
I'm not paying for the barge back.
we ran out of money.
Yeah, so it's been just over a year since we sold the cafe. And then so we also owned the building that the cafe was in. We bought that during COVID. So we were, I don't know, for those who don't understand, it's like we were basically paying our own mortgage off at the cafe. We weren't paying someone.
Yep.
We were leasing to ourselves basically, which is like, you know, in the, I don't know, whatever business world, that's like ideal.
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
like there's no better business situation to be in.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't really matter because we decided that we were going to move on. And in that, like when we decided to sell the cafe, we thought about keeping the building, so then we were getting a revenue, but it was just like, for me, it was too like personal, I guess. Like I just wanted to be like all ties gone.
Yep.
Just wanted it to be clean, no more tin plate, like so that we don't have to, like, if something goes down, we don't have, it's not our problem.
You're not associated. You've disassociated with the whole thing.
Correct.
Like even I get that. If it was a business change and suddenly a toy shop went in there,
probably
you would have
story.
been like, oh, we're going to keep Brenton to the toy shop.
Yeah.
Because it was a.
Yeah.
That makes.
There was just too much love for that business.
I mean, if we're all being realistic here, that was the good move.
That's exactly what happened.
It looks like it's gone. It hasn't quite had. And I mean, if we're like, all right. That comes down to what you guys built, and that's like a perfect example of like business and how businesses are ran. Like, you are your business.
100% you are, and I so strongly believe that. Like, you can buy any business, whether it's a $50,000 cafe or a $350,000 cafe. But as soon as that owner walks out, what is it?
Yep.
Because if that owner was really hands-on and was like, owners or whatever were the face of that business, like, it's, even when we bought it, like the lady who owned it before us, she was a massive person in town, like she was huge, like, and in a completely different way to us, like she was very, very like community involved, and like everyone knew her and all that stuff. So we went in there, like, we probably didn't realize that at the time. We were just like, let's go, let's do this. Like, we didn't realize what we were, you know, but it took a while to like,
and that's
so like
respect.
Because people were like, whoa, who's these like young punks coming into this cafe? Like,
of course, being younger too, it would have been like,
I was 25.
Yeah, true.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Like, so it took a while to like get, I think for some people like who were really set in their ways, to be like, oh wait, these guys are alright. And they can actually do it.
It's good food.
And it's actually good.
The food's good. Like that's the big, especially like product, quality product.
And that was
really pushing that.
That was my biggest thing from the start.
Yeah, in the sense of like not being, like, you'd always tell me, because I'd always be like, oh, why don't we do this a bit more or this bit more of that, like whatever. But it's but if we can't execute it how we think we would want to. Just keep it pretty simple. The simpler, the fresher, everything like that. Like, cook to order. Just
bacon and egg rolls.
How many places have we gone around here that have just gone, like, we've walked in and there'll be an egg muffin sitting in the thing. And I even said it to Ella the other day when we were walking in Rainbow Beach. I was like, we walked into that cafe while you were doing stuff, and she's like, oh, look, they've got the egg and bacon muffin in there. I was like, nah, I'm not having it unless it's cooked to order, because I don't want that. It's been sitting there.
How long's it been sitting there?
And it's yuck. Who wants a re-warmed up egg?
Like, I get it, it's fast, but like...
Yes,
look,
stop that.
You know, it doesn't take that long. Even when you're smashing them out in the kitchen, it was like, once you get going, you can sling them out within, 8 minutes
I still
or 7
don't get
minutes
it. Like, someone still had to cook it.
At some point in the day, but I
is
guess
it just like a lazy way of
it's a different thing.
I can take it slow because no one's waiting. I make a bunch of them.
Make a bunch of them in the morning, probably before we even open.
Yeah.
You know, like we would do that with toasties and stuff, but there was that egg and bacon rolls were that one thing. Like a runny yolk was like our thing.
It's key.
Dude,
like
people would,
and like hot off the pan. You can taste that oil.
And like the amount we sold, like,
proved that.
It proved that we were doing something right. It wasn't, people were willing to wait. We're getting pumped. It's going to be like 25 minutes. Yeah, no worries, I'll go do my groceries. Like for regulars on a Saturday morning, they just wait. Like,
well, I drive up weekly.
Yeah.
25 minutes from
Yeah,
from
and like
Melbourne
you
to
would always be
Bacchus.
last. I'd be like, soz, mate, you're like,
you
go
there's-
sit out the front.
There's 7 in front of you, and I'll be like, fuck, all right,
And the
I'll
rest?
just wait here for fucking
It's 25
45
in front of you.
Yeah.
45 minutes for me bacon and egg fucking roll. But fuck me, what a bacon and egg roll. Like, I could sit here and talk about how magic that bacon. Like, I'm
We did the
literally
podcast thinking about the bacon.
Bro,
We're
and
making bacon
like,
and eggs this
I've
morning.
got
I think we're making bacon and eggs.
picturesque fucking view right now, and it compares to those fucking bacon and egg rolls.
Wales.
Yeah, like we got
sunrise.
there's Wales pop. That dude's still over there, isn't
Yeah,
he?
He's just
chilling.
floating.
We're gonna have to
So
get the
cool.
drone out when we're
Living the
done here.
dream.
But and then okay, and now we're here. We're a year into travelling around in a camper van with
It's
two
a caravan,
kids.
it's not a camper van.
Sorry, I'm not down with the lingo. Fucking hell, man. I don't care what it is. It's a fucking. It's a rooftop tent on wheels.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. How do we? Obviously, that was probably, and I do feel like the biggest sort of shine with you guys is like you're risk takers, and you've
Yeah.
proved it with those few little conversations we've already had, and
Yeah.
then you've proved it with being like, oh, you know what, we're going to sell it all, we're going to buy a fucking car and a caravan, and we're just going to go for as long as
We didn't sell it all. We do still have a house.
Correct.
Oh, so that's like I don't know. That's a big like
Yep.
thing for people who are doing it. Like, do we sell our house or do we not?
Yep.
I said from the start, we're not selling our house. That's probably part of the reason we sold the building too.
Yep.
Like, so we could keep the house. Because
Yep.
at the end of the day, I'd rather keep a house than a building.
Of course.
Like that, just to us as like a family made sense.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
if
yeah.
we need a house, if
the shit hits
keep
a fan,
building,
you go back home.
At least there's a roof there.
There's a
Yeah,
roof,
that we can
and
go.
we can go back to it. So yeah, we didn't sell everything,
Yep.
but we sold the thing that was bringing us income.
Yeah.
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 And so now, in a nutshell, you're sort of just travelling around with a kitty
Yeah.
that you're trying to make last as long as possible. And once that either dries out, it's time to go home. Or you've also talked about like you're willing to, like, you could get up to Cairns, and if you find a job for 6 months and you really like Cairns, you'll stay there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as like the funds go down, I guess that becomes more.
You're probably
Real.
more likely to do it.
Yeah.
Push for
It's
it.
harder to
Yeah.
do it at, even midpoint now. It's sort of like, oh, I wanted, like, we would love to have some more money coming in here and there, but I also want to get up and go do that.
Yeah.
Instead of having
Live, like, take advantage, like,
Yeah,
soak
and
it up
that's
while
the-
you are here.
Yeah.
Do at least a run, and then be like, oh, you know what, I really like that place. Let's go back there and make coffees for people or something.
Or essentially, in a weird
Find a
way.
spot,
it's like,
maybe.
I'm very much on the other side of like, oh, but if I have to get up and go do work, then I'm missing out on doing that for the day.
Yeah.
Which I probably shouldn't think like that, but at the same time, it's hard when you're
That's
like,
why you're
like-
doing what
It's
you're
why
doing.
you're doing it. It's why
Yeah.
we sold
Correct.
the business. Like, yeah, it's like that big.
But that's only like that because we didn't put like a strict, all right, we're going to go for a year.
Yeah.
We're going to be here, but this time here, this time here, this time here, this time. And then we went, let's go. We'll just slowly go up.
You're
And
just
then we got
cruising.
here and we're like, oh crap, we need to get kicking up if we want to get further north,
Yeah.
while it's the right season.
Season-wise, yeah. Yep.
But
Yeah, it's just. I think it's just been like we've still, even though we've gone slow, we've still like enjoyed the time.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't really matter where you are, as long as you're like
Because
out there.
I think too,
suppose,
like
yeah.
it's very much based on like what you're doing now is focusing on extreme family time.
Extreme is the right word.
Well,
yeah.
well, like I will lead into how extreme, but that's the basis of it. It's like spending time. You got 2 young girls, 4, 2.
Pretty much, yeah. That's close enough.
So it's like that sort of age where you might, like Billy, the young, she's growing up. She's
Every day.
She's trailer park trash. She's growing up straight
She
to trailer
literally
park.
doesn't know. Like, she doesn't know
No,
a
what a
bed
house is.
different to what, like. Yeah, even because we stayed in a house in Port Macquarie and she had to sleep in a porta cot, she hated it.
Yeah.
She hated it. The first time we got back in the van, she slept the whole night. She was just like, oh, I'm home.
Yeah, right. That's
yeah,
crazy.
like this is like she learnt to walk, living in a van. Like she turned 1. We were at yours.
yeah.
And she turned 1.
True.
And we'd literally been in the van for like 2 weeks. Hey.
Yep.
Yep.
It's pretty instantaneous.
Yeah. So she was. Yeah, she was. So
She
that's
knows
sort
nothing more
That's
than
how
being in a
long it
van.
kind of took us to the process. It from like, oh, not even. Yeah, probably almost 12 months. From like
from
from
ending the business to
actually-
leaving in a van. There was a
Yeah, from
year in
actually
there.
deciding we're going to sell.
Yep.
You know, we thought about it for months really before we actually went, all right, we're going to look for someone to actually do this.
Yep.
And then, you know, finding a van, waiting for the van, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But yeah, there's definitely a process there. It wasn't like a 5-year plan or anything like that. It was I remember talking. It was not. Yeah, we don't think things out very well.
That much of a plan.
It wasn't.
There was zero plan. It was all like
instinct.
instinct.
Do you want to go travel in a caravan? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Fucking hell.
What caravan do we get? I have no idea. I don't know anything about caravans. I've never owned a caravan in my life.
It's just extremely weird peer pressure. One of them going, oh yeah, I want to do this. That's a cool idea. I sort of want to do it too. All right, look, we're doing it.
Yeah.
That's literally us, isn't it?
Shit, we're doing it.
Yeah. I'm already
Why didn't you
driving
tell
down
me
the
to
drive.
stop?
Oh, yeah.
It's literally us. It's so bad. Oh god.
Fuck, that's
But
cool.
yeah, it is definitely and there's stress in there. Like you can, you know, you're right here, right now, and it's not stressful, obviously. But you know, in those, there definitely was. It hasn't
it's
been
real.
like an easy ride. It hasn't been an easy transition. Like, you know, packing up your house. Like,
Constantly.
Selling a business is hard. Packing up your house is hard. Like, you do all those in a matter of like a few
initial
months.
pack up, like I just meant like even when you're traveling, every time you move, you're sort of packing up your
Oh,
house.
that's
And
nothing.
moving.
Easy. Yeah.
Now it isn't because you had to pack up your whole fucking house.
Yeah. So once
Yeah,
you do
no.
the hard part,
Yeah,
then
it's
this
like,
seems
oh,
easy.
whatever, we'll just fucking move on.
now I'm on that train of like, what else can I get rid of out of here that I don't need?
Yeah, it is
How
a bit,
minimal
isn't
do
it?
I live in
Yeah.
there?
Do I need this?
Do I need this? Yeah, and then
Can
I'll
I
be
throw
going
it in the
down the
bin?
street in like a main town that's got a skate park and be like, oh, I haven't got a skateboard. Maybe I should buy a skateboard.
Yeah.
You dickhead. You've got like 3 bikes here somehow. How are you doing this?
Yeah.
You don't need a skateboard as well.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's hard not to like have those.
The
'Cause
things
obviously,
that
like,
you
at
Toys.
take.
home,
You don't
Yeah.
obviously you don't get to have
Yeah.
your little toys and stuff like that.
Yeah,
or you
and you-
do, but you've only got specifics, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Yeah.
It's like you've got your bike, you can go for rides, but that's probably like you couldn't have a. Oh, you could get crazy with it, but you also that gets crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, like
Yeah.
if you don't have a motorbike, if you were a rider, if you're lucky you are a BMX skate park
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
If you were a dude like me that like wants to ride bush, I'd be fucked going to all these places and not having a motorbike
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I want to fucking ride that hill. I want to go to that
100%, yeah.
track.
Yeah.
I want to fucking
And
ride
it's
with
like
the
that
boys
everywhere though. Like you
that's the-
see new things that
that's
are
the
fun.
kicker,
Like
yeah.
you see somewhere that's really cool for like skating, or you'll see somewhere. Oh, I want to stand up paddleboard. Like, oh, how good would a surfboard be right now? Like, it's just because you go to all these.
Perfect. Like if we had a surfboard, it'd be a good day.
Yeah, but like, but then you go somewhere else and you can't surf for however long. So it's kind of really, you just got to have what you have and be happy with that, I guess, and just like.
I feel like there is
And,
like
you know,
a general like traveling things that you have. Like you have your snorkel and you have
Yeah,
your
yeah.
swimming stuff, and you have like maybe most people do carry a bike of
I
some
think
sort,
Yeah.
like
bikes are very.
janky mountain bike or something. They can just pin around
Yeah.
town or
Yep.
go
Yeah,
for a
we've
cruise.
used-
You can cruise
we've-
down here. It's like a highway. Like you go, good job, man, grab it.
Hang on.
We have a
Yeah,
child.
I'll do it. You say.
All right. Oh,
The
she's
child
sad.
has just risen from the van.
She's not happy.
She put a weird head. Yeah, it was a bit of a.
Why are you out here without me?
Yeah, why have you just left me? Where
yeah.
were we? Yeah, I guess another thing would probably just be like those sorts of challenges, having kids. How does,
Yeah.
like, what's the hardest part?
I don't know what the hardest part is, because I think the hardest bits, it wouldn't matter where you are. You know, like Billy's in a really, like she's almost 2, like she's hectic someday. Obviously you're seeing that.
I've
like,
seen that in the last couple of
she's-
days. Like, I'm telling you, I'm fucking just going to have nieces. I don't think I'm doing this shit, man. I don't
girls
think
aren't
I'm-
getting any more cousins anytime soon.
No, but that's the only reason I want to do it. It's like I want to give them cousins, but can you look after them?
Yeah, absolutely I can. Like, I don't know, it's different when they're your own. Like,
I get
you
that.
have that, you have more patience and.
Fully.
But yeah,
and
like,
I mean, they're as close to mine as I can get to. Like, if they were just my mates' kids, I'd be like, bro, I'm fucking off, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your kid.
Yeah.
Where like I get it. I'm sort of there.
Yeah. Because it's a different feel, isn't it?
Like, why are you crying? What can I do to fix it? Not like, shut up. Like, that's there in my head. I'm like, fucking shut up! But I can...
Yeah.
Don't be that person, because that's... Anyway.
And I think, like, Billy's so different to Ella, too. Like, when Ella was this age, I was like, this terrible juice, or maybe a bit older, but, like, this terrible juicing, like, doesn't even exist. Like, typical, like, naive first-time parent. Like, Ella was so good when she was 2.
Yep.
And then now Billy's just, like, chaotic.
Yeah.
She's so... And I don't know if it's got anything to do with, like...
Having an influence?
Yeah, but I don't know whether it's, like... You know, when you're living like this, you don't have, like, a toy room, for instance, in your home, or, like, your lounge room that's, like, a safe place.
Just a play, just your bed, just your bedroom. Where you can sort of go in there and sit there and be quiet. Like she's only got her little bed cage. Yeah,
but the thing is, like, you're always looking. Like, you're always like, what's she going to fucking fall on next? Because it's like, you're in these spaces that are really open. There's water, there's animals, there's, like, all these things that you constantly have to be, you know, on. Like, Ella's a bit older than that now and can, you know, be trusted to wander a little bit on her own. Like, Billy's still just... And obviously she's gotten better.
Yep.
But, like, there was a point where she couldn't even get out the caravan on her own.
Yeah.
And still sometimes...
Still struggles a little bit sometimes, yeah.
But, like...
Definitely does a little bit.
Yeah, you're constantly watching. The safe space is really hard when you're travelling, like, because... Yeah, it can just be really tricky.
Yep.
I think B's still asleep.
We've got another special little guest here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll
she might not be very happy, but... I don't know. She'll come.
Hey, Bullfed, what are you doing? Hey?
Come over
here.
What
are you doing? Sleepy?
Is your sissy still asleep?
Yeah.
Give me
Sorry, we probably had a little mic talk in there about... What's that? It's a mic doing a podcast.
Sure, well, am I going to have to... Oh, no, because they should be split, so I should be right with that, to be honest. What are you doing? Did you have a good sleep? Yes? It's a lovely day out here, isn't it?
Gorgeous. Just like you.
So yeah, I guess that was probably... Hey?
Do you want mine?
Nah.
You can wear mine if you want.
Yeah, the leopard, I will.
What'd you do, lose your son?
Yeah, I must have put him inside something.
True.
We were just talking about Billy and, like...
I guess sort of the hard,
I think the hard
parts
are things that you would deal with as a parent anywhere.
Of course.
It's
hard being a parent.
It's hard being a parent no matter where you are, and I'm not going to try and say that it's harder out here because it's not. Like, at least you can look out at that after your kid has a meltdown.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Or your kid can have a meltdown, you can just go, all right, let's go do something.
Yeah, and the thing is, like...
We've got nothing right now, let's just go. We could just go for a walk.
Because it's somewhere new, you're not just walking down, like, your street.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, we can parent at this age together is, like, honestly, like...
Next level is good, yeah.
The most incredible thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine doing it on my own. Not that you're doing it on your own, but, like, him going to work every day. Or even me going, like, you know, because there was that time at the cafe where I was at work, he was at home with kids. That's how we juggled. Of
course.
Like, we didn't really go into that before, but, like, that was the juggle, was that, I would be at work, Spencer would be at home, Spencer would be at work, I would be at home. Yeah. So the kids there's no daycare or anything like that. Mum would come up and babysit, Spencer's parents would babysit. Like, we just made that little thing so it would work for the kids. But yeah, being able to do this together, like, is not many people get to do that.
No, yeah.
And I think we forget that sometimes.
Of course,
that, like, we're able to make each other's lives easy, very easily.
Yes, but you can use also. That's the fine line of you can also make each other's life very hard.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
If you don't communicate, work together, and do what...
That's the kicker of it.
If you
don't know, you live your life going, this is just how life is.
Yep.
But once you go, all right, we can work together very well.
Yep.
Then you go, oh, okay, this is easy. But if you're both having a day, you got to understand how to react to each other and talk to each other about it.
Yeah,
in a way that doesn't.
I think yous are pretty, like, I commend yous on, like, I think that's your, like, one of your high points. You've got a pretty good, is the word rapport?
Yeah, like we're best mates, like
Yeah.
genuinely best mates.
Yeah,
Like,
and you can tell that, and I think too, like they're weird little things that they come through and shine through with them.
yeah.
Like just the encouragement of like, you know, like the times where yous like G each other up.
Yeah, I think,
Like, I think it probably comes deep from, like, I reckon I'm a little bit of an influence for that. That comes from, like, you standing around us out the back doing jumps. When someone does something cool, we all go, yeah! You just have that rapport now. So it's like, can you do this? Give it a try. Give it a crack. And it'll, you just do it.
Yeah.
And then there's the celebration. It's a high five. It's a, yeah, well done. You dialed that sort of thing. You want to talk? Tell everyone what's going on.
Wales.
Got to see this fluffy thing on Mum's.
What can you see?
Got to talk into that.
We're watching Wales, aren't we?
Whale watching.
Yeah, and like that's actually a big from you to me is like huge. Like when I was younger, all I ever wanted was to like be with the boys.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like you guys were just. I just wanted to ride bikes with you guys, and like it was probably so no, it wasn't unachievable. It was just didn't happen. But that was it for me. Like I've always been a bit like.
You're tomboy. You are number one tomboy.
Yeah, I'm
and you always. I guess you were around that a lot.
Yeah, I think I never just like. I was around it, but I didn't really get to do it.
Nah, because
Being a little bit younger,
you were the
I was
little
a girl,
sister, fully, and though
you know.
Yeah.
Whereas
and we were doing extremely stupid shit.
Yeah.
You sent yourself over any of those jumps, you probably would have caned yourself.
Yeah, of course.
And that's why we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, but like since being with you, like there's literally like nothing I can't do with you. Like you will. If I said to you tomorrow, I don't even know. I don't even have an example. Something like real. If I said to you tomorrow, I'm going to backflip a motorbike, you would be like, cool, let's do it. You wouldn't even, you've never, like everything I've ever wanted to do, like, do you want to ride park at, like, snowboard, do you want to ride in the park? We'll learn how to ride in the park. Cool, let's go.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, but he was like, let's go, let's do it.
Yep.
Like, riding mountain bikes. Like, I said, I think I want to try this mountain biking thing.
Yep.
5 minutes later, I had a bike and I was riding. Yep. And then I got a better bike because I was riding. Like, there's never been, I want to own a cafe. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, there's never, ever been a time where you've gone, Bonnie, you shouldn't do that.
You're fucking stupid.
Yeah, you literally are. Like, you are.
I love that shit.
And
I come in strong like that. Just give them, go, you good thing,
yeah,
go.
and you've been able to, like...
You've got this.
Yeah, and you've been able to, like, let me do those things, like, without... You've never, like, been like, you're a girl or you're a mum. Like, fucking have a look at me the last 3 years. Like, I broke my wrist mountain bike riding and then broke my ankle 9 weeks ago. Like,
I was just going to say that was
like,
another...
They've both been done things that he's
encouraged you to do.
Like, but in a good way, yeah. Like,
you need to go to the bad side of it. Come on.
No, but it's in a good way.
Just throwing her off cliffs. You'll be right. Oops. You'll be right.
To be fair, I told her on the mountain bike.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Get off and walk this section.
The ankle was your fault.
And she said, no. I've got this. It's going to be easy for me to ride down it.
We'll touch base on... So the wrist happened a couple of years ago. You were downhill.
Yeah, she was, in Bright.
She would have been just...
She was
2
years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, she just turned 2.
Yep.
2, nearly 3,
yeah, I broke my wrist, had to get a plate and screws and whatnot put in.
Yep.
Pretty brutal when you're a chef and you need that hand to do anything.
Yes, you were still working at the time. You had your business. You had a business.
Went away for Christmas holidays, came back with a broken wrist.
Yep.
Yeah.
On your balls.
Merry Christmas.
It's like a balls thing.
Mum, it was actually really...
If it is a balls thing, it's a Griffiths thing as
Mum
well.
and Dad were babysitting Ella so that we could go for a ride because obviously, like, we hadn't ridden for a while. Our friend was up. We had an absolute killer day. And just the last track, I just made a mistake and that was that. And that took a while to get better, but it's fine now. It's all good.
Yep.
It's just like, it's just different when you're a parent and you're a grown up. You guys all broke obviously, like, Mac is in that situation now and probably would understand this, but, like...
On that note, with Schmeat, sorry he's not here. We couldn't bring him with us.
We didn't have a spare bulk, sorry.
He didn't fit in the suitcase.
He didn't fit in his
Had to hang
suitcase,
out.
That fucking cage, I couldn't fucking push it in. Sorry to cut you off there, but, yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, about, like, the injury when you're older, like... When you, I don't know, 'cause I never broke anything when I was younger, but obviously I've got his experience there of, like, breaking things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just totally different when you're an adult, I think, and you have those responsibilities and you lose that independence, yeah?
100%.
Like, you don't have your mum there to, well, my mum was there, our mum was there, obviously she was, but it's just different.
Yep.
I had to kind of learn to do everything with my left hand when I did my wrist, and I had to still run a business. Did you see that one? And then, obviously broke my ankle at, I don't know, 10, 11, I don't know. 11,
weeks, like,
I don't know,
months
right
ago.
before Matt, I think. I think it was like only 2 days.
Yeah, it was.
It was
like
either 2 days or a week before Matt.
Before he did his.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you did that at a, like, would you call it like a trampoline sort of jumpy parky thing?
Yeah, it's a gymnastics stadium thing. They just run like a kids run around and mess around, go do that for
They do have adults
an
there.
hour. Oh, they do have adults.
They do have adult classes, which maybe I should have joined.
So there was like it wasn't even like the foam pit. It was like just a big foam, almost like a solid foam pit.
Yeah.
In a bag, you know what I mean? It wasn't a bag. It wasn't a foam pit, but it was like the mix between it. It was like sort of firmish when you hit it. Anyway, she sort of...
What are you doing front flips, yeah? You did a
front
front
flip.
flip.
A fronty.
Did a front flip off the trampoline and...
Perfect form. Unbelievable video clip.
If you want to see it, it's on our Instagram page.
Put it there, because it'll, yeah.
It is pretty funny. When I got hit that clip, I was like, you're kidding. Dude, there is whales everywhere.
I know. That's why I sort of keep just getting distracted looking out.
Holy
and there's just like, they just keep
there's
pinning
like a
it
run
up.
of them, man. There's just so many.
The front, so she front flipped so hard and she come down forwards and landed on her face, and I thought, oh, that's like she's done her face bad. Like she's gonna come up with a broken nose. She like rolls over and she's like, nah, no good. I'm like, oh no.
I heard
I heard it crack. And I was like, yep. Let's get you out to the car.
Let's get you to emergency.
Yeah. And you're just coming good off that. That would be the best way to describe that. Yeah, you've still got a little bit of a limp here and there, but you're sort of back.
It's still like at that point where it's real frustrating.
Yep.
Like I was said to you yesterday, like I can't like kneel down, like, you know, we're playing on the sand or whatever, and I can't just kneel down.
Yeah.
I've got to like sit, like just those little things that are probably going to take longer.
Yep.
But yeah, like I think it's okay.
You're on the
soft sand, which obviously here isn't ideal, but like pretty good. As good as it is going to be, I guess, for a while. Yeah. But that's okay.
I'm sort of feeling like we have scraped over, and this is obviously going to be a bit of a short one because it's a bit of a hectic situation, and there's whales out there.
There's so many whales out there.
Right,
we couldn't pick it better.
I know. So I feel like another thing too with like most people are sort of like, because you've gone the full risk people are just sort of like, even when I talk to people, they're sort of like, oh, are they back yet? I'm like, bro, they ain't fucking coming back. Sort of, like he's like, but there's that whole, most people sort of just do the little run or go up and see that and then they come back sort of. Like yous don't really, yous are just going, there's no real plan here.
Not really.
No.
We don't have like a real 12-month. We've got little things. Hang on 2 seconds. We've got little things in our head that like we want to do or we want to be or whatever, but there's no real plan to be anywhere at a certain time or do anything, is there?
Or be going for a certain amount of time, like you're not like, oh, by 2025 mid-year we're going to be back home and living in a house again.
Yeah.
That's just not, there's no...
Nah.
It's whatever happens, happens.
It's very universe-based in like how we feel.
Yeah, I know, like we could turn around in like 3 months and be like, we're it's not easy, yeah. Like, it's not...
No, yeah.
It's not easy to be like this all the time, be away from family. Like, that's a big one for me. Like, being away from, like, mum and dad's pretty hard.
Man, it's been 7 months, and I've been like... it's hard for me just to not like to see them go through stages where I'm like, fuck, that's a different kid than what I know.
And
like,
watching Billy grow
Billy's
up, like, and no
different.
one's seeing it, I'm like, oh, I wish mum had seen that, or I wish she could, you know,
experience that like every
with
week.
Everyone, with our families and
like that's honestly been one of the biggest things for me is like that whole sort of sit back and have to watch it happen. That's like.
That's a different perspective on the other side of it, because everyone else is like sort of, if we go, then if we travel, our family will miss us too much, so we're not going to do that. But from your side, you're like, I do miss them. I do miss hanging out with them and having a yarn and seeing the kids. And
like, and it's a bit of a, and because you're like, I like a good travel too, so like my whole excuse is sort of like, this is cool, I get to go up and catch up with them in different places, but like, time can just like get in front of you. The reality is like, I can't do that every month. I'd love to just go up and fly in, fly out, even if it's just for a day or two. But it's like then 5 months goes past and you're like, fuck, I can't, like, I'm just scraping through here. So like, you know, and then obviously you just take advantage of like this opportunity. It was like, all right, I was lucky that I sort of had a little bit of work come in and then it slowed down and I knew I had some time. Yous were here at the same time and it was like, well, let's just throw a couple of rocks with one stone. No. What's that word? It's still real early. My
kill two birds with one stone?
Yeah. Let's kill a couple of birds.
I missed all that, but anyway.
The eagles around here, they kill you.
And like on an experience of like, we'll give you a little bit of a rundown.
Absolutely.
Let's give them a rundown of what that is.
Well, we've been here for a day and a half.
Yeah, not even 48 hours yet.
We've seen... like the whales that are just cruising past us are flat out. We've had sea eagles eating fish right next to us. Yesterday morning I woke up after putting a time lapse on, a night lapse on with my GoPro and sat it over there. I walked outside, my GoPro was gone. I thought, well, maybe a camper's stolen it. I was like, no way. Anyway, did a full search of the surroundings and ended up finding my GoPro half chewed up and eaten in the bushes. So the dingoes out here are legit, right? They'll even eat your GoPro. So, mate, you think your cheesels are going to last? You're tripping. And then, right, we're cruising around yesterday. This dude's going back. Sorry to keep cutting you off, but these whales are wild. Oh, flicking tails. Sensate. If you could see this, you will.
But
Go to my YouTube video and I'll put up a video about this whole experience, so that's where you're going to be able to see it. Yesterday we seen a full skeleton whale, which was probably one of the coolest skeletons I've ever seen. Then we seen a dingo eating a dead whale. I'll repeat that for you. We seen a dingo eating a dead whale.
But we watched the dingo
approach
the whale.
We watched it come and like we were like, all right, it's coming. Yep, we're gonna sit here. We full stalked it and watched this whole thing go down, and it was right up there on some of the wildest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
With
so
my
weird.
own eyes, like that was some straight National Geographic shit. 10 meters away from me. Like sensational. So if you're planning a trip, head up to Fraser Island. It's lovely up here.
Yeah,
make sure you get a 4-wheel drive or a Falcon. On another note, I really want to do Fraser Island with a Falcon, so we need a budget, go buy a t-shirt.
It has to be 4-wheel drive, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think it does have to.
full drive or
So
something.
you can make it 4-wheel
Well,
drive.
we're putting it on it. That's why I need a budget, because we're putting it on a Land Cruiser fucking chassis. Falcon on an out of, you know where we're getting at, but this is budget. We do not have the budget for that yet. I'm lucky to have the budget to be here at the moment, to be completely fucking honest. It's fucking legit, but fuck.
It's alright, we'll feed you for the week.
Yeah, which has also been absolutely sensational. Fucking couple of home cooked meals, mate, that aren't home cooked, but they are home cooked because this is home. It's a bit of a trip, but you know what I mean? They're like camp and home cooked meals.
Yeah.
Man.
Fucking sensational.
What is on?
I do feel like that's been a pretty good skim over. I feel like I don't even know how long we've been going for. 50 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty good potty.
Yeah.
Do you want to is there anything you want to like get across?
I don't know. Did you touch anything on like, I don't know if anyone would be interested in, but like budgeting wise?
Yeah, actually, talk about that.
That's
I think that is a good
I know,
thing.
and you, I don't run the budget. I'm a budget ruiner. I destroy budgets. I'll be the first person to put my hand up and go, spend it. Do you want to go have something to eat?
I'm so glad you're admitting this.
I'm gonna go, we need to look back of it when you go back and go.
That's
I'm just really glad that
we blew the budget. Who did that? Yeah,
that would be me.
Sorry. I need another fishing rod or a new block, or I need to go and have another egg and bacon pie.
I mean,
the bakery, mate.
A new camera.
It doesn't take much to
accessory.
convince me about food, but
Yeah, but obviously, you do need to be very smart with the budget, yeah?
Yeah, so basically we just, because when we first started out, we just like, I was just kind of, we need whatever, but then I was like, this isn't working because I can't track anything. So now, like, I literally, like, pay ourselves a certain amount each week.
Yep.
And that's it. Like, obviously, like, there's certain things that if you've got to, like coming here, there was a few, like we had to do a massive shop.
Yep.
Like we needed a few bits and pieces, like for the car, for the van, like just to make everyone's life a bit easier for the week.
Yep.
And then, like other than that, we pretty much stick to it. Like, we don't really, but there hasn't been a point where I haven't had to say to you, no, you can't have that pie.
I'm taking the piss. I'm taking the piss.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
We're not living. We're sort of in the middle. We're not eating
beyond our means, and
baked beans for dinner.
Yeah.
But then we're also not like going to the pub 3 times a week.
Yeah, of course.
Like we just kind of, and the thing is, like at the end of the day, like I can cook, so what? We don't really need to go out.
No, and
because you go out and you go, fuck, that was crap.
Half the time it's
I
shit
should have just
anyway.
made that on the barbecue.
It would have been
I should have done that, or I should have done this.
Yeah.
And it's
So
it's the struggle of having being a good cook.
Yeah, you get real dirty when you pay good money and it's crap.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm not even a good cook. You're
Yeah.
my good cook, and it pisses me off when I get shit food. You got one fucking job.
Get it
cook
right.
me fucking good food.
Yeah.
Put a bit of love in it.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
It's love.
Fucking oath it is.
I fully believe that it's love.
I believe it is too. 100%. If you don't give a fuck what you're cooking, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, but you care about that piece of toast, it'll be the best toast you've ever had. If you just whack it in and go, fucking, it'll burn and it'll be shit.
Yeah.
It's so legit that.
Yeah, there's definitely like a bit, and like we were talking about it the other day, how for me, like I think we were talking about like how our different arts and stuff like that, and how I've never considered myself an artist, but like I can, like, food is my like art.
Yeah,
I don't know. I still feel weird even saying that, but like,
but
it
food
makes
is
me,
art.
It is
Not in a basic
yeah.
like fucking piece of bread but it's when you can go to even when like I'm not much of like a plate design person. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna eat that.
Yeah,
but
and
it
like,
also
I'm not a fine
if it
dining
comes
cook.
and it looks presentable too.
Yeah.
That's art in that, and it's the art of like building. Like we'll go to like the classic bacon and egg roll. Like if you use all shit textures on a painting on a picture, it's going to look like shit.
Yes,
you use high quality textures, it's going to be a good. And you're using quality product.
Yeah.
It's the art of being like. Do you put the fucking bacon on top, or do you put the egg on top?
Yeah.
That's the art.
Yeah.
Art is tiny.
Yeah.
And like they're those, and then again, you got to go back to like your cake making in your younger days. That's full art.
Yeah.
That was only art.
Yeah.
No one bought that cake because like what was in it.
Nah.
I mean, if you knew you did, because you were like, fuck, she makes a good cake.
Yeah.
But the people were coming to you because of the art you were presenting.
Yeah.
You always put yourself down for that sort of stuff. That is.
You own that
creator
shit.
at its
And no one
at
was
its
doing
top,
that then.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's almost like trendy to be like a stay-at-home cake making mum. I make cake now. Shut up, you fucking dickheads.
You were always ahead of the curve.
100%.
Yeah, but I wasn't that good at it.
Oh, you got seen you in melting paper? I seen you in the leader or whatever it was.
Front
the Star
cover,
Weekly.
yeah. Front cover.
I seen you in there.
But
With your SpongeBob cake.
Yeah.
That was a sick cake too.
I think you're also looking at like top tier standards.
Yeah, of course I am.
But that's what a good.
Yeah.
That's what someone who like
Of course
wants
I am.
to. They an artist. That's an artist.
Yes.
An artist puts themselves down because they're not as good as that next person. They want to get there. That next one needs to be better than that.
Yeah.
I need to get up and get up and get up and get up and get up.
Yeah.
You're chasing that perfection that's not there.
And you'll never be satisfied.
No.
But you've got to remember that like everyone else looks at things differently.
Yeah.
So they're like, that's the fucking coolest cake I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, and okay, they're even going to sit back and go, oh, it's not as cool as that one cake I seen on Great Cake Makers that looks like a dead cat or like a sleeping animal, and you're like, that looks fucking real. Okay, but that is that top tier level.
Yeah.
People still go, that's the fucking coolest fucking SpongeBob cake I've ever fucking seen. You're like, you know, like your hat, the ones you made from like me that were like a hat.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be any better because it had like a cartoon look to it.
Yeah.
It had your art style.
Yeah.
Like it might not have been the most realistic. It looked like every grain of fucking cotton was in the hat.
Yeah.
But it was like, that's a fucking hat.
Yeah.
And watch me eat it. Nom, 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 nom. Like, that's the basis to it, you know.
Yeah.
So they are big.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just about like, I don't know, I think like making people happy with food.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's like this big, I don't know, whatever, that all chefs are like assholes.
Yeah.
Which like they can be, it's high pressure, it's serious shit when it's, it's serious.
In the kitchen, it gets hot in the kitchen.
in the kitchen.
I didn't understand that in a sense of like.
Yeah, like you would just got dropped in
from
that.
like working, especially like trade style, like you just get it done, you're doing what you're doing, to like having that constant, like you could be hanging out just getting your shit done and all of a sudden you're 20 dockets deep and you're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
And that's the different, like there's different types of services too. Like we were sort of an all day thing, like it wasn't like dinner service starts at 6 and finishes at 9.
Yeah.
It's like we open at 7, finish at 3. Fuck knows what's going to happen in between.
You can, if you want to order a burger at the first thing in the morning or a bacon and egg at the end.
Yeah, I have so much respect for people that love, like Bond loves it.
I love it.
She loves to have that many dockets sitting there and there's that fire under her, like you're chasing your tail trying to get up. Like, you're drowning, but you're like you're enjoying the drown. Like,
if I've got a good team, like I'm on. Like I am on. I will just like when things start to like, you know, if you're rolling, it's good.
Yeah,
when you're not rolling, it obviously gets really stressful. But like. Yeah, and even out the front, like, I'm a coffee machine and stuff, like, I'm just like, that's me, I'm like, I'm good.
It's also me. Like, we've definitely got that same.
That pressure's
you've never, like, you're always just like, what's wrong with you?
No, see, I want all that pressure. I want a deadline.
Yeah.
I want a deadline, I want pressure.
Yeah.
And like you said too, it does come into play, like, I can do it pretty well by myself now because that's just what I've done. But like when you've got a team and the right people there and you can like, righto, I know what I want at the end of this day, do this, do that, make that happen, can you do that? Like, and everyone sort of knows that that's the punch. Like, fuck man, I am just, that makes me, I'm on my level. Like stress me out and put me under the pump and I'm, like you said, always just.
I like being stressed.
Yeah.
But in like a good,
in a good way.
In a good way.
Well, yeah, like good, healthy way. Yeah. Yep. No,
you
for
gotta
sure.
have the right kind of people, otherwise it can be pretty hard.
You need the right team.
The person on the register's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It's my first day. That makes things really hard.
Yeah. You need. Well, that's team.
And
the teamwork, like the right team makes is everything.
Systems as well.
Yeah, and chefs and stuff being like known to be assholes. Basically. Like I learned from one of my old head chefs. She was incredible. Like I worked for her when we were at the Snow.
Yeah.
And like the whole time I worked with her, she never raised her voice to me.
Yep.
Never did she like put me down. Like it's big there, like to be you know, when it's stressful, blah, 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 you kind of...
You just say whatever.
You can say some pretty shitty things.
Yep.
And I've always been lucky, I think, that I've had good jobs where I haven't really been involved with, like, serious, the way that it can be pretty bad, but, like, I've still seen it. Like, I know exactly what it can be like. I just haven't been at the, like...
In the core of it.
Being the person confident, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, she kind of made me realise that you can be... She was a really good chef, like 2 chef hats or something.
2 out chef, shout out M.
Yeah. Yeah, she literally, like... Yeah, she taught me so much about just good food. Simple, but, like, good. I remember my first shift, I walked in there and I was like, I don't even know what these ingredients are. Like,
right.
She taught me, like, really... Like, she was fine dining, but it was still simple cooking methods. Like, it was still kind of... But, yeah, just unreal. And, like, the fact that she could just work and not be an asshole under pressure was, like, huge for me. And I really took that into the cafe with, like, taking on those younger girls and, like, not trying really, really hard to, you know, you're doing really well. Like, I know this happened today, but you're doing really well. Like, and we weren't perfect all the time. Like, I'm not going to try and claim that.
And the shit, it's the fan,
Yeah, there's moments where... And, you know, there's sometimes that you need to be like that.
Of course.
This has happened 6 times. Like, now's the time where it needs to stop.
Yeah. Like, and if it doesn't after this one, then you're gone. Or for it,
I mean, we had really good staff.
Yeah, you always did have pretty good.
I don't know, like keeping staff for long periods and stuff. Like, they always sort of stuck around, and we tried really hard to make.
Again, that comes down to from being good people.
Yeah. Also training people into like being capable of things.
Yeah. And being like,
you got it. Don't think you don't.
Yeah.
Don't think you don't got it in anything. Like you got it.
Yeah.
You might not have it today, but you'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you get it, and if you fuck something up, next time you won't fuck that up again. So you'll be continuing to grow as a in whatever you want to grow as.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we tried really hard to kind of make. I don't know, like hospital is such a hard industry. Like no one wants to work in hospital for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I get that.
People are like, I'm at uni, and I'm like, cool. I'll have you for 12 months, but like, I'll take that. And you know what? Even if I teach you a skill, a life skill, it's got nothing to do. Who cares? Like, you want to kind of teach them to be good people. Like, you know, at the end of the day, I was just saying, like, we had to be there. We weren't running it from a distance, so we didn't give a fuck about all the stuff. Nonsense. We were there, start to finish, every day. I don't want you to be grumpy every day because you don't like her and she doesn't like you and you feel like you're doing all the work and she's doing that. Like, we don't want to be in that.
Yep.
Because, you know, I think we had by the end like 10 or 12 girls working for us.
Yeah, it was a pretty big crew.
I don't know how we did it, seriously.
Yeah, you did pretty well. Just get from I fucking nailed Timber together out on a job site, and now I'm in a fucking kitchen with fucking 12 uni girls and me missus. Oh, fuck this. What am I doing? Talk about patience and what is that in... Fuck. This dude's got it.
Because I was thinking about this, sitting out here, looking at those whales going, I don't have anything. I've got a caravan and that's it. In the car.
Yeah, but not really, because I was going to actually step into that. Which I was sort of going to prop it up, give it, get around. But you're pretty you got your own little artistic flair. You can snap a good photo, you can doodle pretty well, and create a little bit of a, and which is also in a nutshell at the moment. That's sort of, if anything, if you've got any sort of income at the moment, it's a little bit of that. Your art and pushing for more of that too.
It is, and it's I think having the time. I did a fair bit during COVID.
Yep.
Where I actually had several people hit me up, and I would design little illustrations for them for whatever reason, maybe for a business, for whatever.
Yep.
And it was popping off a little bit there, but we were so into the cafe, it was just
that was the focus.
I don't have the continual time to be able to just chase it.
Yep.
Because we're chasing this. We're doing this over here and we want to build this to a point where we can do whatever, end up being selling it and funding this.
Yep.
But for the next part, it's sort of, all right, now I have time. It's weird though because I don't have time. I've got heaps of time.
Yeah.
But then I don't because I want to go see things.
You're doing
that's what
things.
we're doing this.
Yep.
But I've been making a lot of space for working on my art and sort of trying to push different content for different stuff and just trying to find the right avenue to bring it all together.
Yep.
In it, at branding myself, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think you sort of slowly find it because like you're still finding a lot of time. Like there's multiple times where I've sort of turned around and you're just sitting there doodling on your iPad. I'm like, fuck, look at him go.
Like,
I wouldn't have even thought to do that at this point. But you're like, fuck it, I reckon I got about half an hour here.
Yeah. If I got time,
if you can, I feel like if you can maintain that, man, you'll have enough time to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, obviously with the right consistency of work, and you're not like, you know, if you suddenly got fucking 30 jobs overnight, you'd be fucked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
and that's
if you just sort of fucking tinkering away and no one's in a mad rush, there's sort of that opportunity to be like, I'm going to do this design. Like over the next fucking 3 or 4 weeks, I'll have this design sorted for you.
Yep.
And but I think too, that's your sort of art. Like,
well, it's not a smashed out. Like,
you're not like, I need a logo tomorrow.
Sometimes it works out like that. Like I'll punch out a design or an idea.
Yep.
I'll punch it out and I'll have it done, and I'll be like, oh, it's been like 3 days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'll send it to him and see what. Now I've got that time, I can be like, is there anything you want to revise on it?
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple of revisions to figure out where you want to be with it, but it really is. I feel like sometimes you look at these people that actually are doing it as a full-time career, and they're just sitting there day in, day out.
Yep.
And I love that as a thing, but then I also believe that you need to be able to work around it. And, you know, if you're hustling, you're hustling. So I think this is just like the step before that. It's like, let's build something, get some people around it.
Yep. Bit of a name. You know,
a little bit of a name
for yourself.
And it's hard when you're doing different mediums all the time.
Yeah.
From like, there's like, early on in the trip, I was like, oh, maybe I should sell some prints and do that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But as we've come in a little bit further this way, I just started drawing again, and I was like, oh, I'm really popping off, and I had 2 or 3 people hit me up within a video, one video.
Yep.
One reel I put up. Oh, can you design this? Yes.
Yep.
Start kicking off with that.
Yep.
So then it gets thrown either way. So I think, how do you find yourself filming and running your business and trying to juggle all that and make it into one, like you?
It's hard. Yeah, I just don't know what happened there. Did it just stop?
Yeah, it just made a noise and stopped.
Alright, that's still recording.
Yeah, we'll get it on that anyway.
That's what I'm sort of hoping. It should all be good. I don't really know, man. I think it's one of those things that I've had to come into. Like, again, it's that little bit of that, like what Bonnie was saying earlier, like that high pressure environment.
Yeah.
I enjoy like having a million things on my plate.
Yeah.
And being able to knock them out. But it is, I think it's more, it's the juggle of like keeping me satisfied in my art, but also giving the people what they actually want.
Yeah.
Like finding that or understanding that sort of game to be like, look, if I deliver all these few things that they do want, it's going to put me in a position over here for them to always want my art now.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit of I don't know what you'd call it, but it's sort of like it's a bit of a trap.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. I'm not trying to like trap anyone for it, but it's sort of like I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get their attention in the most outrageous way most of the time, because that's, as humans, we don't really care if it's not outrageous. It's sort of like whatever, you're just a normal. So you got to give them that little bit of outrageous, and then that brings them in, and then you sell your art.
Yeah.
Because if you just sort of like, for instance, if I was sort of on the street and I had my art, and I just walked up and was like, do you want to buy my art?
Yeah.
Someone would go, get the fuck out of my way, mate, I'm going to work. But if I was like, watch me juggle on my head and then do something crazy, they're going to stop for a second. They're going to go, that was pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to throw my hat out, and then they're going to give me $2.
Yeah.
Or not even that. I'm going to go, I've also sell these photos of me juggling on my head. It helps me keep my fucking head right. Can you buy one? And they'll buy one. It's that you have, and that's how you'd be. You wouldn't just like. We need respect earned.
Yeah.
So like that's my biggest sort of was that sort of the question you sort of asked a bit?
It was just being able to juggle it. I think that's the hardest part to the mediums of it.
Yeah.
I'm very like specific with my stuff. So you're broad. What's the word for it? You are a content creator.
Yes.
That's why it works, because it is a broad range.
Yes.
Whereas I can film some good shit.
Yep.
I take good photos.
Yep.
I draw.
Yep.
But which avenue do you like? I've always been like very specific. Like if I want to invest time, what do I invest all my time in to try and make work? You know what I mean? And that's what we sort of. I've done it over. With the last however many even when we were at the snow, I was shooting photos for the place for a bit.
Oh yeah, you were too.
Yeah, like I've done that as well. So I was taking content photos.
Yep.
7 years? 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't push it because I always had that other job sitting there that I was like, all right, well, when winter's done, I'm going straight back to work.
Yep.
I'm going to bust my ass again for the rest of summer. And then even with the shop, it was sort of the same thing. It was like, we'll focus on the shop. COVID hit. All of a sudden, I got downtime. I'm like, all right, I can start drawing again. I painted a big mural in the cafe. Well, not a big one, but like a nice one in there. And then it was like, all right, COVID restrictions back. Let's go back to work. All right, that's just dropped. So now is the only time in my life I felt like I've got time to sort of figure this out, where we want to go with it, or what we want to do, whether we even want to do it. Who knows?
I think, going back to it, and I think, as I'm thinking about it, I honestly think, you know what it is? It's not putting all those eggs in one basket. Knowing, like, why do we have to be good at it all?
Yeah.
Do a bit of all of it every day.
Yeah.
And I think in real life you do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But like, you've got to like embody that, be it, and then I guess because it is, we're sort of talking that like, if you want to sort of get out in front of people to be able to sell a product, you need to play this social media game.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thing where like, even if it doesn't need to be every day, but if you, it's being consistent every day for you to have more eyes on you.
Yeah.
Because no one's looking at you if you're over in a corner in a box.
Yeah, bloody oath.
So it's like, even if today you post one of your photos you took yesterday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you post a little bit of a drawing, you doodled a little bit or something. Or then the next day you sort of post a reel of you shooting the photo and then the photos.
Yeah.
It's just, it's knowing you've got 5 balls and keeping them juggled, rather than just sort of going, I've let all them and I'll focus on that, because like,
that's what makes
you're letting these ones slip.
Yeah.
Sort of. Where you can sort of juggle, like you can juggle them.
Yeah. And I think that's the part that I've sort of, it's always been an interesting one, because it's like, do you go with that traditional work, like you've always been taught that?
No.
From like, and
I'll be the first one to say no.
I'm not saying that
like,
in the sense of do you do that?
opposite to everything.
Yeah. But in saying that though, when you come out of school, you still did the art thing, but in a
For
trade.
sure. Yeah.
And that's the trade up, isn't it? It's sort of like,
yep.
You're sort of relying on this thing that you've been told to do for your whole life. Get that job, get that trade behind you.
Yep.
Because then you got it.
Yeah.
In case, and then 90% of the time, it's not the in case, that ends up being your life for a while.
Well, if you want to get stuck.
Yeah.
I still think like it is always sort of good to have a little bit of just, you know what it is? It's more the work knowledge. Go out and be an apprentice.
Yeah.
Cop
I think
shit,
that is the
work,
100%.
sweep, be told what to do, be the bitch.
Yeah.
Then, once you've been that for a little bit and you think you're good enough, then go out and do your own.
Yeah.
Which we've done those hard yards. But, yeah, I think I just sort of feel like I had something to say then and I've lost it, which is always the fucking go.
But no, that's the point of like where I was getting at was it's always funny to be able to come back to that solid. When you've got this, and this is talking to people that like you embody what you do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm talking more for the people that are. They've got their. We have. I'm not a. I take risks. Obviously, I don't care what I do. I'll do whatever. I'll go and like. I'll say, I'll do whatever, but then I'll go to it and I'll be like, I don't want to do that, but I'll do it anyway. Like I'll still do it. Like we'll run the cafe, and that's our income.
Yep.
So then you've got those things that you like doing that people say, oh, you're really good at taking photos.
Yep.
Yeah, but the photos don't make me money right now.
Yep.
I'm focused on that. So this is the first time in our lives where we're both sitting here going, oh, we could do whatever right now, and we could try and...
Yep.
And that can be overwhelming
And that's,
too.
yeah, it is overwhelming.
There's not necessarily like at this point and before now, like there's not necessarily been that pressure to make money.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it's hard. Like you've got all this time, but you kind of don't feel like you do because you're doing things all day, every day. Like, and you've got like you see how much time they take up. Like, you don't necessarily get that time to focus. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
For you, I think, is like, how do I focus? Like, how do I, without like structuring, I guess, which we probably need to do better, is go, all right, well, he's going to draw for the next 3 hours. And we go do something else.
But again, like, this is just me throwing this out there. Is that just that little bit of communication and going out and being like, that's where now you need to take that, you step in, you step out.
Oh, 100%.
Which I think you do.
Had those conversations.
I think you do. But you know what I mean? It's like,
absolutely.
Okay, now, you know, he stepped into the kitchen when it was cooking.
Yeah.
When they need to be sorted and you need a job or photos to be sent or taken or content to be made or whatever, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just like, and like I'm obviously more than happy to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And can or do or whatever.
But I think
sometimes it just like, the days just like slip by, don't they?
Do.
And then you get to like, you think, oh no, I'll do some drawing tonight or whatever. Like,
I get to that time and I'm like, I don't want to draw right now. I've had a day of like screaming.
You can finally
really,
like chill, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
But it is also, I understand the hustle of it, and it's like, well, you do it anyway. You make time to do it.
Well, that's sort of what I was going to say. Like you said,
and that's
something
probably the hard thing. There isn't that pressure.
You've got to just do it, man.
It's because there's...
you know what? Let's just shut up and film it, man.
I think
like that's what I tell myself. It's like that whole, just film it. And if you do have that time to edit it later on or make a video out of it, then do it. But the truth is too, once you start filming it all, you're like, I've got something.
Yeah.
That's the inspiration. Without the inspiration of clicking record, like, you've got to just be like, I'm capturing this moment. And then you're like, fuck, I've got this story.
Yeah.
I can tell it. And even if you don't have it full, you can go back and be like, oh, so, and that's that personality that needs to be brought out. That's part of it. If you want people to buy your photos and your art, then you've got to give them that little bit of like...
That's where we're sort of...
So this is what I'm doing today, and this is what I did yesterday. The last 5 days, it's been like that's part of this. If you can incorporate, the struggle is the story.
Yeah.
So if you can't record today, that's good. The next day you go, yesterday was fucked, dudes.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to fucking wipe my ass. And now here we are. I got a little bit of a minute. I can recap what we've done this week. I've got a couple of photos from it. Here they are. Thanks for coming, guys. That's my story for that sort of week or time. Because that's the bottom. That's why we watch everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What
I think
are you
it's
doing
just
next?
hard
What's
to
happening?
do though.
What are you
I
doing
think
now?
For you now, you're at a point where that's, and you've always sort of been that entertainer.
But it's also very much I've had to form to what we're doing.
100%.
I grew up in that whole like film everything, put it on a tape, wait 6 months, make a movie.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I need to post what I did today.
Yeah. You've adapted to that.
We need to be relevant. Or if it's not that, it's like, okay, we've built this, it's dropping at this time, I need it to be ready by that time.
Yeah.
So I need to at least find these certain points to be like, yep, that's good enough.
Yeah.
But again, that's me adapting to being like, what if, but I don't see you in any, like, we're not different like that.
Nah.
Apart from me having my own brand,
Yeah.
you do everything I do.
Yeah.
If not, sometimes most of the time better. Because you've put that focus into just that.
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't know how to fucking set me camera up and take a bullshit photo.
Yeah.
I pull it out there, it's all auto, and I snap away. Or I screenshot from a thingo.
Yeah.
It's like, I couldn't sit there on an iPad and draw what you draw.
Yeah.
Like, I could do certain things, but it's also like, it's that little bit of like, it's almost like that confidence thing. And this is something that like I've only learnt within the last few years. It's like, I can do that.
Yeah.
No one else wants to, or can. And if they can, I've got someone to talk to about it.
Yeah. It's that,
Fuck,
that's
what
the
am-
vibe,
And that's a
isn't it?
really, really, really cool way to look at it, because it can be like intimidating, I guess. Learning new things can be intimidating.
Fuck yeah.
And you think, oh, but old mate over there can do it better than me, so I just won't bother.
I just not going to do it. It's like, well, no, that's stupid. That's
So
so
silly,
stupid.
isn't it?
Like,
Yeah.
you have no idea what you've got in here, and you can get out.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the key. And it's just, and again, the time we live in, it's very much like, because it's daily and it's all this shit, just throw shit at a wall. The amount of stuff I've posted lately that I am just disappointed in. And I'm like, mate,
Yeah.
if me fucking 5 years ago seeing me posting this, I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But I have to do that. It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I post
And like
good
we've
content.
said that,
I
we
post
say
good
that
content
often.
and it goes nowhere.
We say that all the time. Like we know.
Flower? Is a pretty flower?
It's a microphone. Yeah.
You want to say hello?
Say something. Say hello.
Good. Say hi, Uncle.
Say, oi, uncle.
Oi.
Oi, uncle.
Oi, uncle. It's
Can you
fluffy,
see
isn't
any
it?
hands on it?
Do you know what we call that? Dead cat.
Meow.
Dead cat. Bit of grin spoon for you. Anyway,
Oh, classic.
yeah, good. Six song, sick album. Anyway. 83 minutes, we've done pretty well.
That's pretty
That's
good.
good.
I think we
that
covered
the kids are getting restless. If there is anything, I'm always up for another holiday, so drop some comments in,
Also-
let us know some questions.
Also, just do it. Just
Yeah.
if you got something you want to do,
Yep,
do it.
that is
It's
the put
scary.
up.
Stop saying
Yeah.
you can't do it.
Yeah.
And like, don't think that we weren't like, no, we're not obviously anyone, but like,
No, that makes it better.
Yeah.
We're just normal people.
we're normal people. We shit ourselves. We worry. We stress. We do all those things.
Salt water in
And
the
for
car.
instance, I'll give you, this is a perfect example. This whole trip,
This whole
the whole
trip
time,
is a perfect
they've
example.
both been like, don't get the car in the salt water, stay away from like the
No,
edge
I
of it
don't
a
have
little
We
bit,
need
right?
to bring in the van.
Yeah, of course.
There's
Yeah,
more
that was a
bringing
full
the van
stress,
over.
yeah. But this is just the water ones are semi-good because it's like those little stresses that stress you out, right? So you know you're sort of like, oh, the wave's coming up, you don't want it to spray anywhere. But then something else will happen and it will wipe your whole, like, that. Those little sprays that you could have got from the side thing aren't even going to matter now after what we went through.
Nah.
So it's like that whole, whatever you're scared of, what you do it'll never end up like that anyway. I can't really get out what I'm trying to say here. There's a
But
kid
just, yeah,
popping off.
that's all I want to say.
Risk it for the
If you had
biscuit.
something you wanted to do,
Yep.
like, if you go party, if you don't, whatever, just do it. Just have a crack at it. Because the worst case thing that happens, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And you can just figure it out.
Yeah.
You can go back to wherever you're doing.
Yeah, and anyone with a bit of oomph in them will respect that. Like, you might feel like a failure, and to people that have never done anything, you will be because they're in the same. But to anyone that's done anything, you will get ultimate respect for trying.
Yeah, and I don't know, we even just, as an example, coming here with the van, we were so unsure. Every second person that I read stuff about was like, there was half people like, yep, it's fine, send it.
Yep.
Then the other half were like, no, I'd never take my van there.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
We took our van here. We could take our van.
Yeah.
We could have taken it all the way to the end.
Well, no, not all the way to the end, but.
Which bit do you reckon would have stopped us?
We haven't even gone all the way to the end yet.
I mean the end we went to, sorry.
Yeah. Like this part of it, and it would have been fine. There would have been like 2 sections that would have been iffy, but.
Yep.
And I mean, it's not necessarily, like, you still got to
get
through some stuff and whatever. But
it's a challenge.
Yeah, but there's no reason you can't do it. People are just so negative, I guess. Like,
whatever. Having a cafe. Trying to run a business.
It's fear-ridden. It's like fear can hold you down, and until you grasp fear and know that that's what that little voice is going, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Don't listen to that voice.
Yeah.
Or
do it.
Hear it out, right? Hear it out and be like, okay, but keep charging.
And I think he's really good at that. Yeah, you're really
back
good.
your partner.
Yep.
You'll go deep. Like, you'll read heaps of stuff and you'll kind of know exactly what you're getting. Whereas I'm just like, nah, she'll be right. I read this one thing, it'll be fine. Like, let's just do it. Because he's driving, so I'm just kind of the nervous one in this thing going, hope this doesn't happen or whatever. I haven't done any research. He's done it all, so I feel safe. Like, but yeah, you do. You have to back them too. Like, we would have been so disappointed if we'd come here and
we just had swags and not had this
swags or whatever we'd done. We would have been so disappointed. We would have been like,
I wouldn't have been disappointed with the swag. I would have been disappointed if I had
Still would have been a good time.
If I had paid for a hotel, for a room or whatever.
Yeah.
we would have seen that. What everyone talks about is like,
there's 3 vans down there. Ask them how they went.
You'll end up on the. You need to save that for Ella. Don't drink that.
Go over it. I got a cup in the fridge. I saved a cup before I brought this out. They drank more of it in this time than I have drank in it. So maybe I'll go and drink the cup that's in the fridge.
Kids, it's so good. It's absolute chaos. It really is. Like, I am just like, this is.
I saved you a cup in the fridge.
It's not. Yeah, it is. It's pretty chaotic, but it's pretty good. It'd be chaotic anywhere, so may as well be giving them a good.
A
time.
view.
Hey?
All right, well, that's it. That's us. Thanks for tuning in to the latest podcast.
Ella,
I don't know what I'm going to call this one. Come here.
Come here.
Go say bye to everyone.
Come on.
Oh, lucky that camera's getting you anyway. Well, you're on camera anyway. If you come over here, you won't be on camera.
Wait, show everyone your new jumper that no one else is getting.
Yeah, full custom. I made some. I've been did a little bit of test printing the other day, so hopefully we've got some new jumpers and stuff coming out soon. I don't know. It's a bit of a hard one. I've only got a certain amount of ink, so it's a long story. But look, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming. Hopefully all that worked. I don't even know.
True?
I really don't know.
It's pretty full.
Hopefully.
But yeah, tune in. On another note, make sure you get onto their bloody Instagrams, Cafe to Caravan. Suss out Spencer's artworks. I've been telling him to put it all on one platform now, and we're going to get rid of the pages, but we don't know if that's going to happen yet. So follow them all, or follow him.
It'll happen.
There we go. All right. It's all about your personality, people. Be the personality. Be you. Put it all out there. Put it all out on one platform. I see a lot of people out there these days that are like, I made a little business page. No one gives a fuck about your business page, dude. I'm sorry. People care about you. And that's the bottom line. They care about you. So do you, and they'll go, oh, wow, it doesn't even need to be presented like a business anymore. It just needs to be a hustle. So, like, be you. Be like, look, I cover drink bottles in stickers. Do you want to buy one of my drink bottles? All right, don't do that. You don't expect a drink bottle. Anyway.
I could start doing that for you, though.
There you go. We might start stickering up drink bottles. And I'd probably just get drink bottles made. That's so much work for no point. That took me like 10 minutes. It took me like 15 to 20 minutes to wrap that bottle up the way it is. That's a pain in the ass.
Like $120 drink bottle.
Yeah, it is now. Anyway, it's on eBay if you want me drink bottle. It's rare as. It's come to Fraser Island. I've drank out of it. Look, I'm just jabbering on now because we're here. All right, thanks for coming. Episode, I think it was 23. Cheers for coming. See you on the next one. Whoop, whoop. You!
My die!